you're doing well today. Hope you have nothing but good health, prosperity, a strong mindset, and a healthy vision for the future. My last video, I just talked about how I got to Thailand. I left Canada, and now I'm here. And I got a comment that I thought was pretty interesting. It said, I have 60 days and I gotta go. So I want to talk about that, how to actually get to Thailand. So I'm gonna kind of break down some things that I had to look out for and that you should look out for if you decide that you want to make a move to somewhere in Southeast Asia. This is specifically for Thailand, but let's just get into it. You need money. As cool as it sounds to be able to pay for things super cheap and have this kind of like low cost of living lifestyle, you really have to understand that it's only low cost of living if you have money that you can spend. Now, there's two ways that you can have that money. You could either have a remote income or you could have a savings. And it's not like you need a trust fund to be able to come and do something like this, but you should have enough in the bank to give you wiggle room in terms of being able to pay for certain things, especially like accommodations and stuff like that. Even if you can stay within like the 5 to 10,000 range, that's enough to get like your foot in the door and kind of see. Getting here is more expensive than actually being here. Visas. Your visa is the second, if not the most important thing. The only reason it's behind money is because your visa actually depends on how much money you have. Always check the official government website. I can even put up on the screen for the information regarding your visas. So there's some visas that are like shorter term, some visas that are longer term, some visas that are meant for specific groups of people. So you always have to find out which visa suits you. So I'm not going to talk about like the political ones or any of like the specialized ones where you're like flown in from a different country because you're really good at something. Like, we don't have to worry about those ones. Three main kind of categories for visas for like a regular person. So the first category is going to be your visa exemption, right? So these are people whose passports allow them to enter Thailand without a visa. This is not a system that you want to abuse, okay? There are very strict laws, especially now, in terms of visa, and the last thing that you want is you show up, get denied, and you have to fly back home. And that trip, especially if you're coming from the West, is a long trip. If that is you, make sure you have an onward flight, right? When you do your Thailand digital arrival card, your TDAC, basically you fill it out online 3 to 4 days before you actually land. You'll ask for fields of your onward and where you're going. So you got to make sure that you don't get caught in a bad situation with your visa. Now you can look at, I think it's single and multiple entry tourist visas. This gives you a little bit more room because you have a few months where you can actually be able to visit Thailand. If you're on a single entry, you're in once, you're out. If you're on a multi-entry, you're in once, you can come in and out. And I think it's around 6 months. I could be wrong, but that's kind of the most recent one that I've seen. That gives you a little bit more room, but just like the other visa, you gotta bounce. Now the last visa, which is the best visa, is the Destination Thailand visa. This basically gives you 5 years in the country where you can do 183 days, I think it's around there, before you have to leave and come back again. So you can do multiple entries on a 5-year visa. Those ones are usually the ones where like you're serious about being here for a while, you want to live here, you want to start a life here or whatever. And then also there's like the retirement visa. The retirement visa, you have to fit within a certain age bracket, but basically you can renew that every year, I'm pretty sure. And you need a lot more proof of funds though, that you're actually here to retire. If you can get in and you just want to see Thailand, go visa exempt, make sure you have your onward flight booked within your time period and you're good to go. If you do something like a multi-entry, make sure that you have your onward flight. The short-term visas, the proof of funds are a lot more lenient. I think it's around like 20,000 baht. It's around like 1,000 something Canadian. And if you're looking at something a bit longer term, like a DTV, that's like 500,000 baht. So you're looking at something like 20,000. Proof of funds is very important. That's why money is number one if you actually want to come here. Your accommodation, That is actually very important. So it shows proof that you are actually going to stay somewhere. Especially if you're doing something like a tourist visa, you want to make sure that, hey, like you're staying something. So you're in a place, right? They usually don't scrutinize too hard in terms of like the specifics, but you're gonna have to fill it out on your arrival card. So make sure you get that out the way. Yeah, those are the most important things to actually get to Thailand. When it comes to actually being in Thailand and staying in Thailand, you want to make sure that you are financially aware. Like budgeting here is a lot easier, and sticking to a budget is like a cakewalk, to be honest. But it is still possible to end up overspending or putting, 300 baht here, 300 baht here, 300 baht here, 400 baht here, you know what I mean? Like it can add up and it is possible. Getting here is very expensive. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. Getting here is the hard part, but once you are here, stay on top of the laws, don't do anything crazy, and you're gonna have a really good time. It's super chill, and you have the choice. You have a lot of options for what you want to do. So if you get the chance, definitely try to do your best to be smart with that and travel, right? It opens up opportunities that changes your perspectives. So watch this video, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.